Up next on Inspiring Beauty and Believers.
And dealing with females. I don't understand why majority, because it's not all, why majority of women feel like there has to always be something said. Like there always has to be an 6-page response. Like I don't understand that because it's not real. All
And
right.
there were four.
What's the next question? Since we went
That
ham
was
on the
good.
first one,
No, did we though?
we
Did
went
we
ham
though?
on
One
that one.
question
needed
goes a
to hear
whole
that,
2
though.
hours.
It was. It's very
They needed
important.
to hear that.
Okay, so the next question is, if men don't talk about things, that means they don't care.
Oh, you know that's untrue. I don't even know why they. I don't even understand why. I honestly, this is just real. I've experienced this like all through my adult life and dealing with females. I don't understand why majority, because it's not all, why majority of women feel like there has to always be something said. Like there always has to be an 6-page response. Like I don't understand that because it's not real. Like somebody will sit there and tell me something and I'll be like okay, or I'll be like well, I mean, that's a lot to think about, or hey, that's a struggle right there, or maybe I give you a whole paragraph, just a paragraph over your 4-page letter that you just sent me. Like just because a woman has a whole idea about a whole thing in their head and they decide to go ahead and get it out doesn't mean that the person that you're giving that out to is going to respond in the way that you absolutely want them to. They aren't going to give you the whole 4-page letter right back to you after you gave it to them. Like that's not going to happen. But just because I gave you a sentence or a word or whatever, that doesn't mean that I don't care. And that doesn't mean that most men don't care. That just means that we gave you what was immediately within us or what that brought out of us. And just because, as I stated before, it brought a whole 4-page letter out of you doesn't mean that 4-page letter coming out of you means that a 4-page letter is coming out of us. Like that literally just means whatever comes out is what comes out. Me personally, I'm a very thoughtful person when it comes to things that need to be said and things that don't need to be said. Literally, if you tell me something, what you get out of me is exactly what I mean to give you. It may be 4 pages, which I doubt, or it may be just 2 paragraphs, or it may be 2 sentences. But plain and simple, all because I only give you maybe just a word, or I say, okay, I understand. Because you told me a whole thing about how you feel and what they this and that and blah, blah, and how you, whatever. Okay, I absolutely understand. You want more than me understanding you? Like, if that's the honest to God truth, that I absolutely understand where you're coming from. Maybe we'll make some changes. Maybe some things will come up. Maybe we'll do something different, whatever. But that doesn't mean that I don't care just because I have a short amount of words that come out of my mouth. Because whatever comes out of my mouth, I promise you, I've considered it and I absolutely mean what I say when it comes out of my mouth. So that should be way more important to most females, because I think a lot of men are like this. It should be way more important to most females, if you do have that kind of man, I guess, than getting a whole 4-page letter filled with a bunch of these and thous and those and whatever other stuff they can go ahead and fill that stuff with just to make you feel better, in giving you a whole bunch of paragraphs and sentences and everything. I'm not about that. I'm literally just going to say whatever it is. And majority of the time, it's going to be way shorter than these conversations we have on here. Like, it just is what it is. It just is what it is. Majority of the time, it's going to be way shorter. Because I don't know, in all honesty, I try and fit a little bit more in when it comes to us saying stuff here, because I'm very conscious of the fact that we're hitting people from different walks of life, very large groups, all that stuff, different mentalities, this, that, and the third. If it's you and you're my woman, I'm your man, and you say something to me, I know the audience I'm dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't feel like I need to say anything extra. I'm going to give you exactly what it is. So that's just me.
Yo, let me say this, women, like you can't take a man's, and that's one thing that I think in all of these dialects that we have, women, like, and I agree with my boy Shan when he was saying, don't take what we're saying as a rebuttal type thing of back and forth. Take it as an understanding. So when you're going through something, see what it is. You can see you're getting an insight to what's going on in your man's mind most of the time. And you got so many different perspectives on here. It's got to be one of them, right? And the funny thing is, using the thing about women is like taking and using a man. What is the thing that women say when you ask them, yo, babe, what's wrong? Nothing. You hear nothing. You're like, oh, snap. It's something going on.
Down.
Some men don't understand that. Like women, when we say
fine,
we ain't fine if we say we fine. If we say okay, it ain't okay. But like if we send you a long message and you say okay,
bro,
it's super aggravating.
It is kind of aggravating, especially women pour their heart out, like we pouring our heart out, right? And then to get like a 1 or 2 liner, you like, what the hell
let me ask you this. Hey, let me just ask you this, and I hate to use this perspective, but I'm gonna use it as this: somebody shoot one bullet in the air, pow, that's a gunshot, right? Somebody lets off and they're shooting rounds at you. What do? You're trying to process what's going on there. Where's it coming from? Like, same thing when women send you this long 4-page message, you still got to be like, okay, I understand, but I'm still processing. I just got shot up. But nothing, it's like, bam, okay, I see the warning shot, but what's going on? Then we get the 4-page letter. Now you got to process all the gunfire coming at you. You just overloaded a man's brain. When we say nothing, we're literally sitting here like, God damn, I'm just peaceful. Nothing's going on, nothing, baby. I'm good. We say nothing. Be happy because nothing going on. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it's a difference. Women can't see it from that perspective. Let me let you know, the man just been shot with an AK-47 50,000 times, and he trying to process all the bullets and where's it coming from and all this that happened. And I'm hit. Like, Mayday, man down. Blue 42, get the truck. Like, what happened? Like, bro, where did this come from? It's probably a friend Sally over there telling her that shit. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. He's trying to figure out what just happened. And this very logical.
It's understandable, but you could say that too. You could be like, listen,
this is a lot.
It's a whole lot.
This
right. It is. It's like you still said, okay, I understand, but I was like, God, dog, I'm trying to still get it all in. You still processing. You don't even know how to say, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, God, dog, she just overloaded me with a lot of information. Like, and it's pretty funny because now I started back, now that the world's back open, please God, keep it back open. But I'm back on my one-on-ones with my daughters. And oh my God, like when I tell you, it's just like women, my girls be like, yeah, and I had the blue dress and my friend, she came over and she did all this. And I'm just sitting there like, and I'm listening to my daughters and I was like, God, dog, women and girls is no different. Like they just give you so much information. And how's your day? Huh? They love to talk. And the thing is, and as men, we do have to grow. And I've learned with communication is that learning how to talk to each person, because each woman is different. Like each one of my daughters, I have the different conversations with, you know what I'm saying? Some I got to pull a little bit more. They keep some stuff, you know what I'm saying? So you got to really learn how to navigate through that. But most of the time when I tell you, it's like, yo, we're just trying to process all the information that we just got that just been dumped on us like a waterfall. And you got to understand, like, in that process until, and this is, let me just retract back, man. At the beginning of your relationships with your woman, please learn your women, please study your women, please know their triggers, their landmines, all that, and the way they flow. So that way, when they do want this long old message back, you got to muster up all that to, you know what I'm saying, text back all that you want. Learn your woman. If you're going to be with her, like, do learn it so that they know if they want those texts back, most of them do, you know what I'm saying? But I've come to find,
you could text back, let's have a conversation about this. If you don't want to send a whole long text message, but we just need acknowledgement. Oh.
Yes.
How about okay, I understand. Is that a good acknowledgement?
No.
That's not
Okay.
See, that's the thing, though. Y'all walking in expectation of somebody acting a certain way.
We're not asking you to, first of all, we're not asking you to understand. We want you to understand, but if we send a long message, we want to have a conversation. This is what we're saying.
Pretty much.
We want to have a conversation.
So you expecting us to act a certain way. You expecting us to act like you would act.
No,
not necessarily how I would act.
Okay.
I love it.
Smoke, because he just don't understand.
No, we expect you to that there's things on our mind, and we're presenting to you that thing that's on our mind, and we want to talk about it. That's what we're doing. Mm-hmm. So when we're like, oh, this is what we want to talk about, and I know it probably sounds like, right, but this is what's on our heart. This is what we want to share. And then when you come back with, yeah, that's cool, or okay, or whatever, we like, did he just not just hear my heart?
Right. You don't.
No. Well, we'll tell you this right now, so we can change all that. When he says okay, he actually is feeling something and he's processing it.
No,
so you shouldn't be upset, right?
Processing. Say processing, send like a
little. But see, now you telling me how
that wheel is spinning. It's spinning. It's like dial up.
Yeah, right. Like loading. Something. We need to know.
Let me just.
Yeah, but you just said when we say okay, that's not good enough.
Okay, is not because you're asking. Okay. And a woman is not okay. We just said that earlier. Okay, fine. What was the other one? Nothing.
But in a man, it's okay.
We don't understand that. That's
let me tell y'all this.
So y'all want us to understand, but y'all don't understand.
Listen what I'm trying to tell you. Most of the time, your feelings will get addressed. In that moment, you're wanting it in that moment.
Yeah,
I need my feelings to be addressed all the time, not most of the time.
We need to just let us know. Okay, we're going to address this at this specific time or at a later date or something. Don't just.
Okay. But shouldn't you know this already? Dealing with the man you're dealing with.
But,
you know this?
Shouldn't you already know that dealing with the man that you're dealing with? Like, shouldn't you already know that you're going to come out with this 4-page letter? But he's not going to respond like that. He's literally just probably going to say, okay. So you want to have this conversation, but realistically, you just have something that you want to get out and get off your chest.
Because one thing that you got to remember, ladies, one of the things y'all got to listen, lady, listen. One of the things I've learned, one of the things I have learned is from a lot of times, women don't always want you to go in and fix something. So when you tell us stuff like that, we naturally want to go into fixing mode. So then we have to learn this balance that sometimes, which one do you want? Because naturally, here's the thing that you normally want to ask them. All right, do you want me to listen or you want to fix feedback on it? So a lot of times when I do it, it's like, okay. And a lot of times I don't address it. I'm like, yo, which one do you want? And then after that, I'm like, okay, cool. So let's go back and talk about this because now, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's not always good to talk to a woman when she's all the way, you know what I'm saying, at the height of something. You know what I'm saying? When the emotions are wearing, a lot of times you got to wait for that to come down and even out so we can really have a conversation. Because if it do, a lot of times it just can get escalated and they can't process it. And let me just use this on the other end. There's some women out there who got trauma. And if you got trauma and if you're going through something, a lot of times you can't even process it if you're having anxiety. So sometimes we needed the conversation to come down and get out of the anxiety moment or, you know what I'm saying, the trauma that you're going through at this moment and just give it a second so we can actually talk about it. And then at that point, because I know most men, they'd be like, they're not going to give you another 4-page, but they're going to be like, baby, I understand. I heard what you were saying before. And I can see where I'm going, you know what I'm saying? I can see where this is not being addressed. If this is an issue, if the house is too hot, I'll go work some extra hours and pay the extra light bill. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it'll go into fix it mode, but you got to give it a second, ladies. You got to give it a second for the man to come through and give you the actual answer. If you want something right then and there, I don't feel it would be as genuine as time for a man to really, you know what I'm saying, get tapped in and give you that, you know what I'm saying, the real validation you want. If you don't want that, I mean, hey, I'm just telling you from a male's perspective. And you got 3 million men telling you, like, bro, like, this is how it is. Like, you trying to pull it out of us. And I'm not going to say y'all, but I've witnessed that sometimes women take these, what's those ones when you buy the house when it's broken down, you fix them up?
Fixer-upper houses.
Fixer-upper. these fixer-upper men, you take fixer-upper men that ain't ready yet. You're trying to get them to this point, like, yo, you got to get that man. Sometimes you may want to let him refurbish his own house first and get right, and maybe you can get a better version of that man. Because a lot of times men got to go through some seasons, you know what I'm saying? And got to go through some things. Like for most of the things I learned about marriage was after I got a divorce, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Most books I read, Love and Respect, right. 5 love languages. Books was inside my cabinet. I got it in my when we got married. I didn't even read them books after I was divorced, you know what I'm saying? Right. So it's like a lot of times you got to let the man develop first. And then, because I could say from this month, when a man has developed, he can give you the answer that you need. But if you got an experienced one, or if you got some man who went through trauma where his mama didn't treat him right, or if they was in a household they didn't get hugged or they didn't get loved, because my grandmother wanted hugs all the time. But this man is right here behind me, you know what I'm saying? He don't hug, because we came to find out his mother never hugged him. He didn't conversate too much. He cussed you out because he's from New York. And everybody know granddaddy gonna cuss you out and give you some food. Like, it just is what it is. That's who granddaddy was.
I know.
And he'll take care of you. You knew he loved you because he'll take care of you, but you will get cussed out. So,
and he would tell you, he's like, yo, I know you love me. You here. Like, he said, dang, Shirley, I know you love me. You right here. Like, she just would have left me if you didn't. Right. So it's like in the aspect, men don't need to know that they're loved, even though that's not the point. The thing is that they just need to be respected. And the thing is, oftentimes you have to be careful that, you know what I'm saying, you're not rushing them into stuff, because then you don't want to feel like it's nagging. You want to feel like you're trying to pull or push this dude. You know what I'm saying? If he's not what you want him to be, then you should not be with him. You know what I'm saying? In that aspect.
I'm gonna just throw this in here really quick. So studies show that women say about 20,000 words a day, where men only say about 10,000 words a day. And it's been like that ever since they were younger. So women always talk more from that aspect. And then also women, I saw in, I think it was Laugh Your Way to a Better Marriage. He was saying men have little boxes in their head. So everything is separate, where women, we have wires and everything is connected. Like, so when we go on our tangents and talks, like we could see like some random thing and it reminds us of something else, which connects to something else and connects to something else. We want to share everything in our heads with you. And it's a lot of stuff.
We got to put it in them boxes. All that stuff you share got to go in them boxes, right?
Let's be like, I understand this is what's going on in your head, and you know, let's talk about it. But okay is not okay. It's not.
Let me tell you like this, and that's why a lot of times, man, and honestly, though, the whole true essence of this is that conversations need to be had in person. You go out there. Sometimes it don't even need. You could get this long 4-page message and she going off about this and that and everything's going chaotic, and all she really needs is a hug. You know what I'm saying? All she really just needs is to feel loved. She just needs a hug. You can't do that through text. So a lot of times, ladies and gentlemen, have these conversations in person. That's first and foremost. So that way you can have the interaction, you can get it. So these conversations don't do through text. That's the first and foremost. That's the reason why we're having issues, is because we now got technology. Like, I'm gonna just tell him what I feel, you know what I'm saying? And saying, bro, like it is like, bro, it's like
all caps.
Yeah.
And that's why you get back an okay.
Like, yo, you yell.
That's why you get back an okay.
That's how you get it. Or a K if I'm really, you know what I'm saying, being petty, get a K. Like, bro, we should have had this conversation.
Real mad. He only put K.
Hey, look, it's just for that reaction too, because oftentimes, it's like you do.
Thumbs up emoji.
Mm-hmm. And see, I want to tell women as well. This is the thing. There is a such thing as beta males, and some women be acting like they want an alpha, but they really want a beta male. And I throw this out there that we alpha kings over here. So you may not agree with some of the stuff that we saying, but that I hate to say this, it is what it is. I mean, truth be true. You know, so I'm just giving you the perspective of what I am, you know, so don't go searching for an alpha male if you don't really want to be with an alpha male. So sometimes you may get that okay But as an alpha male as well, as we got so many things and we compartmentalize, we are looking to fix the situation for you, but give us a moment to just kind of process it type situation. And as I go, understand that, yeah, sometimes I can't just say, okay, but it's a two-way street as well. So I need to understand that I can't always say, okay, but at the same point in time, you need to understand that when I do just throw out a little something, that there's a whole lot going in my head right now as well. And I haven't put you away and just sidebarred you, but I really am thinking this thing all the way out type situation. So it's on both parts, so we can meet in the middle.
But sometimes women just want to hear that, though.
Right.
Like they want to hear that. Hey, I'm processing, or whatever. We'll talk about it later. But just like Jay said,
start sending girls these videos. We're speaking for the men. What's going on? Oh, Shawty, send that video to them about today's questions. We're processing. But
just shoot them the site. Just be like,
watch the video. Your views gonna start going up. What's going on, girl? Let me look at you.
Right.
Yeah.
We understand, but still, it's always nice to hear that. Like, just we'll talk about this later or something like that. I'm cool with that. If I'm expressing myself to you and I'm wanting a response. So if I'm sending you this 4-page letter,
if I took the time to write all of this out,
I need you to respond.
But you got to respond. But you got to respond. But you got a response.
Okay.
It's not a response.
Yes, it is.
No,
but you didn't get the response that you wanted.
Exactly.
No, we want to know this is going to be addressed. It does not have to be addressed right at this moment, but we should have a conversation about this because I've spent for the past couple of days thinking about this, and now I finally sat here and wrote out this whole message. We need to talk about it because you didn't want, because just like Jay said, you have to wait till you come down. Like some women, may go off and they screaming and shouting and stuff, and that's not necessary. You have to come to a place where you calm down so that you can actually process through just like y'all process, we process too. And so we have to process. And when we process, I'm a writer. So when I'm processing, I'm writing down.
She be writing.
I write everybody 5-10 page letters.
All type of stuff.
Everybody gets letters because that's
we like to read. No math ain't his subject.
You know what I mean?
Who has never gotten a letter from me is my brother, and that's because I could just sit and talk to him, and he just he understands my brain, and that's it. But I can go to him and just this is what's on my brain, and then we talk through it. Everybody else gets a letter because y'all don't understand.
But do you? Can I?
He listens to me. He's a good listener.
Okay.
I want to make 2 points, and I don't want to let these points kind of fade away. Women have to understand. He said alpha and beta men. So, women, if you're going to be an alpha woman, it is no way you can expect to have an alpha man, because y'all gonna clash for the throne. So you got to take a beta man and you got to be okay with it, and vice versa. So many times alpha women saying, and there's two different people, somebody at the point, you know what I'm saying? And that's the thing, the jockeying for position. If you want to be the alpha woman, then you got to take a beta man. It's got to be somebody who's going to yield to that masculine energy. Because you know what I'm saying? A lot of times women say alpha woman, but you're still thinking it's feminine. But when you look at all the true essence of what they're saying, it looks like the aspect of a definition of what men do. I go get my bag. I don't need nobody else. And important, I can take care of this, you and everybody else. I want you, but I don't need you. So at that point, it's the fact of an alpha male is going to be the same kind of energy. And those energies will eventually collide if it works at first or not. Or, you know what I'm saying? What's going to happen is if y'all are together, it's more of a business transaction, and somebody else has probably found that other energy from somewhere else. Yeah. If they're cheating and something like that, that's why so often there's cheating. And that's why sometimes you see these open relationships now from two alpha people. They get to go slide off and do what they want to do because they're like, hey, we together, we in this, we're doing it. But you need that because you still need to go get that beta energy. You know what I'm saying? You still need to go get that what you seeking for. And I'm not that, but I still want to be with you. So you end up with a what's the new word? An entanglement. You know what I'm saying? You gotta go get, you know what I'm saying, entangled with something else. That was you know what I'm saying? So when I heard that, it was like real shit. I'm not trying to put You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to talk about Will and them Jada's situation. I'm just saying that's a word that was being used, and which it is. You get entangled in this other situation because you're still connected with that other person. And now you got this other person who's feeling a certain way and he's singing a song. Like their whole situation was a good thing to play out on what happens with this energy when some people connect and they have sex with other people. You get entangled, it ties up, it knots up, and you still got this other person, and you just don't know how people going to take you when situations get played out like that. So that beta and alpha energy. So people have to just remember that as like, yo, there's some things that's going on. And all of us have went through something, you know what I'm saying? Let's just take it outside of just the near vicinity. Just think about our culture in general of where they came through, the segregation, the slavery and stuff like that. Those traumas was never addressed. And I've learned that things can get passed down, you know what I'm saying? Things can definitely get passed down from generation to generation. Like I know that my grandma went through segregation. I know that my great-grandfather's parents was slaves, you know what I'm saying? Grandpa Neil, he lived to be almost 100 years, you know what I'm saying? So you just think about that. But the one thing that I want to put as far as for me, the reason why I was so good at communicating, and most people be like, hey, man, it's just so easy to talk to, is because the true matriarch, which was my grandma, was the one who took me under her wing, who was a communicator and put that in me as a man. Though I'm still a man, I can communicate because I was raised by a woman, but I am so grateful for the balance of the household. I've had my grandmother, I had my grandfather, I had my uncles, I had my aunts, I had my mom. I had a great balance of male from masculine and feminine energy all the time that I've had to be able to become well balanced in that aspect. So if you don't have it, ladies, please understand your man, learn about the history of where they came from, and don't expect it as D, retracting back to the D situation. You can't expect the man to be something that he's not. So you might want to do that research while you're still going through the dating thing. As much as you like him, if that's something you really want, if you want a communicator, you better find a man who at least was connected to some women energy. And I often say, women, if you really want to know how you're going to be treated, look at that man's relationships with the women in his life, his mothers or his auntie, whoever raised him, or if he was in the system. You know what I'm saying? You got to think about these traumas he went through. So he may not always communicate. You know what I'm saying? If he may have been in a life where he grew up in the system, he don't communicate really, you know what I'm saying? Because he had to suppress his issues and stuff like that. He didn't have family. He didn't grow up in that loving environment to communicate and get through it. So you just got to learn. You got to learn what those things are. But
subscribe so you don't miss next week's video.
And as Shannon was talking about, I like being the weaker vessel because guess what? If somebody come up and try to rob us, they got to go through him first before they gonna get to me. And I know how to fight.
Put Mike up there. Get him, Mike.